What is up, guys? Juggalo Greaser here. Coming back at you again, another ALF podcast. Today I wanted to talk about the newest nation to join our rock of a planet, and that is CHAZ. The Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, yo. First anarchist commune actually set up. So, what basically happened was bunch of protesters in downtown Seattle went ahead and blocked off about 6 blocks of land and just said, hey, this is ours now. So they founded the nation of the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. It's a communist utopia. So let me give you guys my thoughts on this. First of all, I think that these communist anarchists, they've got the spirit, right? You know, good for them for at least trying to create their utopia in real life. However, you know me, that communism thing doesn't really vibe too well, and honestly I think that it's doomed to fail simply because they're not doing it quite right. So, around day 2, CHAZ did what communist nations do best, and they ran out of food. So naturally, what do you do when you run out of food? Well, obviously, you beg the capitalist overlords to give you some food. Because who has food? Capitalists have food. Communists don't have any food. So, right off the bat, there you go. We've got the anarcho-capitalism flag back there. If this was an anarcho-capitalist commune, I can see it being much more successful for a much longer time. Now, I'm not telling them how to do their thing. I would love to take a quick vacation up to the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone and see what's going on out there. One other thing that I find very interesting about the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone is their border security. So, when you think a lot about groups like Antifa, one of the strong stances that they have is based on immigration and having open borders in the country, and they call Trump, a racist for having strong border security. Of course, I'm pro open borders. You can't be an anarchist and say that you're going to regulate who comes in and out of your country, but that's exactly what they're doing out in CHAZ. So let's think about this. If we have an anarchist commune, right? There's no real government. There's no police force, but instead what they have is armed guards standing at the border. Of course, a counter argument could be that maybe their armed guards are there to keep the U.S. military out and to keep police out from their little commune. Because, of course, CHAZ does not have any police. They don't have a military. They only have these border guards who, I guess, make sure that the only people coming in and out are people who are not there to infiltrate the system that they have going on there. I think that it's definitely a little bit hypocritical of them to have a very strong militarized border patrol, especially when that seems to be against everything that they stand for. Perhaps what CHAZ needs is maybe a citizen militia force. And of course, that's what I would do if I were them. Instead of focusing all your energy defending the borders and regulating, who comes in and out, maybe just be ready to defend yourself when, the bad guys cross over that border. Because realistically, borders are just invisible lines drawn out by our governments. They don't actually mean anything. And that's the way that it's best to look at it, In a world of complete freedom, you have people coming into your country, you have people leaving your country, and they're free to do that. That is freedom. When you are taking time to ID everyone who comes in and out, which is exactly what the Border Patrol in CHAZ is doing. If they ask for your ID, then you're not really an anarchist at all, are you? In anarchism, the citizenry protects the country, right? So what if we took these armed guards, and instead of having them just patrolling the border and regulating immigration to and from CHAZ, what if they were organized, they were strong, and they were armed? But you never ever had to see them or deal with them, and they couldn't enforce any sort of law in your country because, like I said, they're an anarchist commune, so there are no laws. All that they would do is be a group of citizens, concerned citizens, that are there to defend their commune, which they have worked so hard to protect, create, and keep functional. That's what I think is necessary for protecting CHAZ, not some sort of border protection. Now, of course, CHAZ can't last forever, and one day the military is going to come in and clear it up. Of course, that's going to happen because there's people living in CHAZ who were American citizens until, until Antifa decided that this was their place now. This would be seen to President Trump as a threat, a domestic threat, and I'm sure that he's eager to clear them out as fast as he can. So when the military does come, do you think that the Border Patrol who's been set up there is really going to do anything to protect them? Because personally, I think that they will surrender right then and there, and they will not have much of a fight in them. Don't want to assume anything, of course. Maybe the CHAZ Border Patrol is a little bit more hardcore than I thought. And, of course, in a battle between the U.S. government and the citizens of CHAZ, obviously the U.S. government is going to push them out, and Seattle will be back to an American city. What's important is that we learn from CHAZ. We learn from its mistakes, and we learn from its accomplishments. What I hope that people take away is that when you can see a better life in your head, maybe you have some sort of utopia idea that you want to see put into real life. If you can get enough people to agree with you, then you can do just that. Just form your own commune or your own little nation state, and within that state, you can enforce your own policies, whatever it is that you saw being a utopia, whatever it was in your eyes. You can create that with you and anybody else that you convinced to join you in starting your new country. Also, I hope that maybe some of these anarcho-communists can see that the anarcho-communist way of doing things doesn't work long term. The problem is the lack of incentive to make goods, not just any goods, but things that are necessary like food and water and electricity. And when there's no money, then there's no incentive to have any of those things, which is why the food situation happened in CHAZ. It's just kind of bound to eventually fall apart when you can't even provide for yourself the bare necessities for your own country. Money makes the world go round, right? Imagine if CHAZ perhaps had taken a more free market capitalist view and economical standpoint. Maybe they would see a lot more success in the way that they're running things, right? Businesses would still be open and would be being paid by people who are going to work either at those businesses or to order food or any sort of goods from those businesses. Apparently, and I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently members of CHAZ were going to businesses and demanding money, which is just total extortion and totally against this idea of complete freedom that anarchism brings. And complete freedom is my utopia, right? Which is why I believe in an anarcho-capitalist society. And maybe, just maybe, if people, particularly people who consider themselves anarchists, can learn from CHAZ's mistakes in trusting communism as a sensible form of economics, maybe we can know that next time it's best to put our trust into capitalism, where it will keep our nation state strong and running, and where all citizens can prosper and not live in fear of police or oppressive, tyrannical government, and also not have to worry or live in fear that they won't be able to feed their kids or provide for their families. Anyway, this was just a quick little episode I wanted to make. I wanted to give my opinion on CHAZ, Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, because I think that there's a lot to be learned from it, and I hope wholeheartedly that it continues to function well and strongly as it can. Of course, nothing can last forever, but I'm impressed with how long the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone has lasted. Anyways, guys, thanks for listening. Thank you so much. Go ahead, subscribe if you're into these ALF podcasts. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? I don't discriminate against people's political views. So, of course, if you have some criticism of perhaps my worldview, I'd be happy to hear it. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Juggalo Greaser out. Peace.